I'm Adam Niffen.
And I'm Jeremy Cocaine.
This is Smith Welding Restoration. Nothing to add?
Well, that's the way we work. That's what we do. We make things pretty.
I want to show you this I came in, it's 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to all you servicemen and women. I definitely tip my hat and say thank you from the bottom and very depths of my tiny little crooked soul. But let's take a peek at what I did do today. I had Nick detailing the Kia and getting it ready to just leave. So this is kind of what I spent my time on today. I came in this morning and I had that toolbox sitting haphazard in the middle of the damn floor. These tanks just floating around, sitting on the floor, waiting to get knocked over and ruptured or worse. Well, a little bit of larceny. There was an abandoned lawnmower, so I stole the wheels and the axle bolt wheel thingamabobs. So I drilled a hole in a piece of 1/4-inch plate I welded back there, or 5/16, I don't remember, and tapped it so those bolts go through. They're wobbly, but it works. It rolls around. Yeah, let's take a look. I used a stainless steel mud pan, like sheet metal or sheetrock mud pan, and that holds all the basic stuff. I've got the little wrench for the acetylene down there too. Got a tip, so I can stick the tip down the handle. This is stuff we had scraps of in the shop. Literally, this is what we had except for the wheels I salvaged off of an abandoned lawnmower. Bottom tray, I used 1.5 to 1/8 angle and some expanded metal. I braced it up with some rebar. This tubing we got, it was in the back of the shop hoopty when we bought it, and it was part of a canopy that had never been used. We've been using the metal for all sorts of other stuff. Another piece of rebar, that's going to be a recurring theme. The slingshot, the water balloon wars tubing, that was a scrap of that I used. I capped the bottom of it. Now I can drop my this is brazing rod here, but I can put the shit in here and it'll be fine. I try to keep it in a sealed container like this as well as in here because, yeah, it's welded on there. I've got what I did here for the chains and everything. I went ahead and I welded it over here to the rebar brace, and back here I actually took a piece of, there you go, when I cut the chain to hold everything, I took a piece of that chain that I cut and I welded it up as a hook. So now it hooks it, and I welded it in around the radius. I welded it past the radius. I didn't weld it here or put one in the middle to hook them both on, because I wanted that chain to kind of wrap around them a little bit and pull them into these corners off the side. This cart should be big enough I can upgrade at least one more time. I can get at least, you know, the bottles that go up to here. They're not going to get much bigger around until you get to your 300s, which are, you'll never use that for acetylene. These little hooks kind of have a fun story. I taught my children how to bend 1/2-inch rebar with these 2 fingers. I used the torch and I heated it up with the rosebud and let them bend the bar. I had it in my tripod vise. There's holes in the top of it. I slid it down in there, heated it up, and let them bend it. So I cut these off at lengths, welded them to the tubing, so I can wrap up my hose. It's safe and out of the way. I just hooked my propane tank there because it's handy. My blowpipe. That's what your torch is called, people. It's a blowpipe. Again, all your miscellaneous. And then some of my welding rod, I just bent the tip over and stuffed it down the handle. Then we got this. It's as simple and archaic as it gets for holding this up. That toolbox was my great uncle's that I got, and I went through and I dug out all of the Airco blowpipe accessories, threw them in here, and I got another small blowpipe that I need some adapters to use on this, but it's like a jeweler's. So that's all, you know, cutting tips, 2 cutting heads, rosebud, number 7 I think, maybe number 5, I don't know. Pieces and parts for oxygen acetylene. This is a beat up old toolbox, it works great for this. I have these pieces of 1 1/4 tubing hanging out, cut exactly the same length. So I used them, took the chain, just welded it on inside there. So I set the toolbox on the pipe, and I hook it on the hooks I built up here. And that's a little better look at the hooks for the, that's a little bit better look at the hooks for the tanks. This is all made, I didn't spend an outside dime. I refuse to spend an outside dime on any of this stuff that I have leftovers or we're able to liberate from other sources. This will roll around. You know, if I get another job, I got to go off site. God's willing, that never happens again. If the money's right, I'm gone. If I got to go off site, that'll go upstairs and whatever I need. I can throw all the stuff in there in the toolbox so it's safe. And move it around. It's not perfect. It's not charming. But it's everything you need in an oxygen acetylene welding cart. You know, this is kind of a show and tell over here. My brazing skills, this is 16 gauge steel I used. My brazing skills are not up to snuff anymore. It's functional, but it's ugly. It's I think it's a number 3 tip. One thing interesting, the old man I grew up around always said you could weld with a coat hanger. That is not a very good weld, but that is a weld using coat hanger from the dollar store for filler rod. So it still works. I don't know the strength of it, but I was curious. I wanted to bone up on some of my brazing. I just got too hot. I started vaporing it off. I might do a brazing demo after I get a little more practice and get boned up on brazing so I can show you competently. So, I don't know, look for more fun fabrication shop fixture projects. Every little thing you do like that in your personal home shop or professional shop. I could have bought that cart. Probably should have. But I've got exactly what I want, actually, instead of getting something and having to cut it up and make it different. But all these little things, the plasma cutting table, the cart for the miller, that cart there, the little tabletops we built for our just basic shop trolleys, you know, those. Built a little table on top so we can lay bumper covers and shit. We can paint stuff on top of that now. I knocked these over, but I built stands for panel stands, you know. The plasma cutter cart, you guys have seen that. The mud trolley, of course. You know, I guess it goes from growing up in a, well, let's just be polite, economically repressed household. How's that? We use what we got. Good times. You folks, have a good day. Hope to see you soon. Leave comments, death threats, love letters, as usual, down at the bottom. And we'll get back at you. Wow, made it to the end of the video. Thanks for checking in. Come back on the next one. See what the hell we're up to next time. Subscribe, comment. Find us on the over on the old Facebook, Smith Welding Restoration LLC on Facebook. Numbers at the beginning. Have any questions? Call.